I just got so tired of people just telling me I couldn't do things and that I was never going to amount to anything. And, you know, for anyone that's listening, all those people that closed the door on me, I'm coming back to buy the building.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean,
Bang, bang.
Hold on, where's the? I know we got a button. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Trey Tipton, and we're back at it again on Tre'd Talk. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Tyler Joe Stratton.
We back, brother.
Back at it again, and we have a great guest today. It's one of my favorite guests we've had so far. She said she's gonna kill it today. Miss Sandra D, how are we doing?
whoop, whoop. Good.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the
Hey,
show.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you.
So,
Thank
Miss
you.
Sandra, my first question to you is: we talked about this a little bit before,
Yeah.
right? We were talking about the empowerment of women in construction and how difficult it was. But before we even get into that, we got to let the people know who you are really, because you weren't always in construction, were we? We was doing a crap ton of other.
So many things in life.
So tell us a little bit about what you used to get into, how'd you got to the construction industry, and where is it going for you from here?
Okay. So, wow, going way back, I started with cosmetology. Did hair, makeup, worked in the salon for many years. Was the East Coast Educational Director for Alta, so helped do some things there.
My wife worked there for like 7 or 8 years, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left there. I had a management position with Side of Staples. I did retail for a while. I've done real estate. From there, then I bought a collection agency, and in the collection agency, loved that. Still part of it, but after COVID and all these new like federal changes, it just it killed the industry. So I ended up closing down the collection agency and really kind of was at a crossroads of where do I go from here.
Right.
And I really thought that that was my heart. That's where I was going to stick with. So I shut the agency down and was like, not really sure what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd put a post out on Facebook saying, hey, I'm looking for something. And Daniel Good reached out to me and was like, hey, I have this opportunity. And I was like, construction, not really where I thought I was going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll catch you later. And so, you know, we kept talking, and he convinced me to just sit down, and he wanted to share his goals and vision with me. And so an interview for that turned into 4 hours.
Wow.
And
Good conversation, I suppose.
I mean, but there was just so much to talk about, you know, really where he was going. And so I thought, well, you know, nothing's really happening for me at this moment. Maybe this is kind of God's way of opening a door for me.
Right.
So I came on as vice president of Bay Country and
Let's go.
just celebrated my
Talk that
first
talk.
year.
Let's
And
Let's go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
thank you.
Huge.
Yeah. So that's where I've been. So never thought I would be in the construction industry, but I love it. I love every single minute of it. I love my employees. I love our mission. I love the values that we're setting forth, and the legacy that we're creating.
Right.
You know, not just for, you know, Daniel's son Blake, but for our entire company. So
That's incredible. I mean, from where you once were to a whole 180-degree turnaround into the construction industry. In between there, if you guys didn't listen, is a confident woman. Like, and I'm not saying that, like, you take strides to go from, like, I had to become more of a confident man when I started dating my wife, and I had to walk into an Ulta.
Come on,
right?
now.
I'm like, I don't want other dudes to be judging me as I'm walking into Ulta, right? And so I'm like, you have to build confidence along the way. Like, where do you think your confidence came from? Was it like an individual? Was it within yourself? Or where do
Great
you,
question,
because
Tyler.
I mean, to go from where you were to being in a construction space where some men out there are ruthless, right? Like, you've got to hold your own, and you got to make sure that you're a powerful woman to
Sure.
show up as the VP. So what can you speak in on that?
Great question.
I'll tell you, it sticks out in my mind. So I was previously married, and inside of that marriage, my ex-husband had told me that I would always ride on the coattails of someone else.
Well, that's why he's your ex.
Well,
Where's he at?
and that
Come on with it.
and that I would never be anything. And so
Miss
fast.
Sandra, hold on, Miss Sandra, because first of all, I don't need to know his name. Just give me an address.
I'll hold you back.
Yeah, but I
We need you here.
appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's given me the motivation to say that I will never ride on the coattails of anyone, and that
Give it up.
I
Let's
will
go.
create my own vision and my own path.
Yes.
And that it's not about riding on the coattails. So fast forward many years later, I also serve on the licensing board for Maryland. I'm
Wow.
appointed by the governor
Let's go.
for their
Superwoman.
for their collection licensing board. And it was funny because during my background check, one of the things was that they had to reach out to him and ask some questions. And so he had called me and he was like, hey, you know, I'm being contacted by the governor's office. And I was like,
You are, bud.
do you remember that time?
Riding on the
that
back
you
of what?
said I was going to ride on the back of everyone else's coattails. Yeah. Nope, that's the governor's office, and
That's incredible.
they are here,
What
and
an
I was
achievement.
appointed.
What an achievement.
Yeah.
What inspired you to even like step
Do that.
into, you know, that specific role? I mean, these are roles of like straight authority and power. Like that's incredible.
You was proving a point. I know you was proving a point.
Well, but when it comes down to leadership, right? I've always said that don't just talk about it. You know, put it into action.
Oh.
And so, you know, by me being on this licensing board, I help with the state of Maryland and legislation and providing a network of people to create policies and procedures that protect Maryland consumers.
Wow.
So,
I mean, you turn your breakdowns, and I say this a lot in my podcast, but like a breakdown in straight through a breakthrough. Like if it wasn't for that moment of heartbreak, of a breakdown,
Yeah.
Wouldn't have
that
made it.
breakthrough would have never, this
Yeah.
Sandra would have never shown up.
Correct.
To be, you know, you would still be, honestly, and that's unfortunate that, it's not unfortunate.
It's very
You would,
fortunate.
yeah, very fortunate, because if this didn't happen, you would be riding on the coattails or like surrendering to some man who's telling you like how low you are. Like
100%.
that is not who you are. You've
Right.
proven yourself time and time again, and you continuously show up. So go ahead, Trey. You
No, I
look
would
like you got a
also-
thought, bro.
I would also agree with that. Now that you said that out loud, I was sitting there over here thinking, and I was just like, that shows power. That's going to show another young lady that she has an opportunity to showcase her power, right? Which is a
Absolutely.
very, very, very beautiful thing, right? Because there's not too many times where women get the opportunity to actually showcase that, like, no, I'm not just only good, I'm great.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
I'm not only great, I'm all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number one, and I'm not fearful to say it,
Come
right?
on.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too that when you look at women today, I think that they're women who want to try to achieve things, but you know they feel underpowered, undervalued. You know, I don't have the experience, I don't have the college degree, I don't have the money to start my own business. And I think my story just tells people that I don't have those things, but you know, I was an entrepreneur. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have my degree, but I owned my own collection agency.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can't allow things that you think are limitations today to keep you from your goals tomorrow.
Whoa,
Wow.
I got a question for you, Miss Sandra, because that is some powerful stuff you're saying right there.
Yeah.
So where does this come from? Like, were you always this motivated? Did you have a grandfather? Did you have a mother or a sister or somebody who kind of gave you some type of inspiration to be as strong as you've become?
You know, I think I just got so tired of people just telling me I couldn't do things and that I was never going to amount to anything. And, you know, for anyone that's listening, all those people that closed the door on me, I'm coming back to buy the building.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean,
Bang, bang.
Hold on, where's the? I know we got a button. Do we got a button over there?
Here.
She said, "I don't want the door. You can have the door. I'm buying the
Let's
building."
go.
I'm buying the building.
Let's go.
I love it. I love
mean,
it.
it just, is there one person, is there one thing that shaped me to be who I am? No, I just think it's a combination of many things. And yes, I've always been super motivated and driven because I just have the mentality that I have really great places I want to go to. And to be able to do those things, I have to work really hard. And I don't let people say no. I'm here to create my own way.
You're a go-getter for sure. And it's
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of, women out there, I mean, realistically, I'm not going to go try and go this route, but like they're confused, they're lost, right? They're trying to be someone that they're not. What kind of advice would you give to someone that is a go-getter, and how because confidence is a big thing. Like
Big
I'm
thing.
telling you, your story is really about you just flourishing into your confident self. So like what kind of, takeaways can you share with other, individuals or females on how can someone grow their confidence? Because I think that's your story. Your story is empowering. It's you being confident, rising from your ashes, which is incredible to say. Because here's what, I mean, you and I haven't really got to know each other, but just hearing parts of your story, it's inspired me because it's like every adversity that you've hit, you haven't allowed that story to stop you from growing.
Come on.
And a lot of people do.
Right.
But you're like, I'm an entrepreneur, and what that means to me is I'm not willing to quit when the going gets tough.
Keep going.
So how do you help someone else? Like how do you help a lady or a young female or anybody that just with the confidence? Because I look up to you with being able to hold yourself at a high standard to have the confidence that you
Very high
do.
standard.
Sure. I think that you have to realize that when it comes to confidence, it's inside of everyone. And you really have to reach down and just take the time to believe in yourself. And that
Speak it. That's it.
it's not given to you. It's not something you earn. It's already inside of you. You just have to tap in and to allow it to grow. Feed it what you need to empower you. When I think about my story, adversity is everyone has the adversity in their life, but it's how you use it to push you forward. Adversity has caused me to have my confidence to grow. That's 100%.
So don't avoid it.
Don't avoid it.
Go through it.
You grow through it. Don't avoid it. Grow through it.
How important has it been, actually, something I've been wanting to ask you is, in the construction space, what has been one adversity that you've been challenged with when you first entered, and then how did you overcome that?
Well, I mean, the construction industry is 100% dominated by men.
Come on.
And, you're starting to see a lot more women inside from project management and just and being involved in every field inside of the industry. So, yeah, 100% the first thing that I've run into is just automatic judgment when I walk onto a job site that I'm a woman, that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I think that's huge inside of the industry that women really have to overcome is that, when you think of construction is the first gender that you think of, is it a male or a female?
Male.
It's
Yeah.
always going to be a male.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm here to tell you
You're
It
changing
ain't.
that, baby.
that's not
I'm
how
here to
it's gonna
change
be in
it.
the future per se. I mean, there's space for both,
There
right?
is.
It's not that it needs to be a woman-dominated, industry, but that there's room for both of us here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. Actually, now hearing that and hearing what you're saying, man, it is definitely inspirational for young women out there to see that they have somebody to look up to that is older than them, but as well as still growing in their own right? So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of young women nowadays that you see that are getting not only into the field, but actually in the field.
Yes.
Look at the pavement group.
Bro, there's a
I
lot.
mean, we're not in the thick of it all the time. We're on the back end, but we have a great community
Great.
of women here
Great.
that are empowering, that are inspiring, that are moving and going places.
Motivational.
And it's like for anybody that ever were to think that, I mean, and this is just hopefully not just my personal perspective, but my wife she is where my strength comes from.
Come on.
Like every guy deserves a woman like yourself to show up in their life, because you're going to push that man into places that he doesn't want to be, but it's going to help him to evolve it to become the man he needs to be. Right? So it's like,
No, you're right. Because I'm sitting here thinking right now, bro, every woman is the backbone of anything.
for real though.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's what people forget, and we've got to show up and respect that and love on that. Because if
100%.
we don't, I'm telling you, if this was just a full of testosterone and man up,
Would
in this,
not make it.
we're not gonna make it, dude. We're gonna be challenged. There's gonna be arguments and fights. We got to have that good energy, because that's what you bring, balance.
Yeah.
You bring that, and you know what? I would probably even say, like, how many broken men are in the contracting space that need a
100%.
motherly figure
Come on.
or a woman to kind of bring them back to their feet, to be like, just your presence alone being here makes me feel like I'm loved even
Yeah.
more here, right?
Absolutely.
So like allowing
She's
that power.
She's the champion. Let me tell you why she's the champion. I got a story time.
Story time.
So
Trade talk.
Trade talk. Here we go. So I pull up, right? I go to Maryland / Virginia, DMV. I'm just gonna say the DMV.
DMV,
because
baby.
It's all together. It's all together.
All right there.
Pull up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see Bay, see how it's doing over there, see how my guy DG, Sandra, how's
It's
it
also
doing
Bay
over there.
Country, not
Bay
Bay.
Country, not Bay, Bay Country. But ultimately, I go over there and I'm talking to Sandra, and she's like, you know what? A lot of the times I find myself putting my hand inside of the lion's den.
Oh.
I said, hold on now.
Rawr.
Oh, hold on now. Because if you do that, you know what
Yeah.
typically happens is that
Yeah.
hand get bit off.
Yeah, no
And
more
she
hand.
ain't even flinch. Real thuggish. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
So
dude.
like, where does that come from? Because you got a sense of, I can sense it from you, and I can feel it from you.
Determination of.
She's not only determined, but she's fearless.
Ugh.
And I want to know where that comes from. Like, where's that fearlessness come from?
God.
Oh.
Cut the mic. Cut the mic. Let's
Let's
wrap it up.
go.
She called
I
it out.
mean,
Amen.
you know,
Our
by
King is
faith.
so good.
yeah. I mean, I'm a warrior of Christ.
Amen.
So being a
Amen.
warrior of Christ means that I'm a warrior out in the world. And every day I put on the full armor of God, and there's nothing that's going to hurt me.
My gosh.
So
Man,
I
Yeah.
love it. No,
you
that's
speaking
the
to me
truth.
right now. You
And
speaking
that's
directly to me.
what I think a lot of us in general need to hear.
Come
is
on.
like and being fearless to even speak that nowadays. Like it's sometimes people won't speak anything. They won't even use the word God. Like, they don't even want to use the word God because it seems to be, like, I don't want to be judged. So for you to even speak that on a show like, what we have, and it's where you're always can be open and vulnerable, but God is, once again, when we walk with God in the essence of God, we can become fearless because our God is fearless.
yeah.
Very fearless.
Yeah, and honestly, when you have a personal relationship with God, it changes your life.
Come on.
We talk about, where does my motivation come? Where does
Yeah.
my determination come from? Well, that comes from my walk with God.
And you haven't had an easy walk now.
No, it's not been easy.
Been a crawl.
But
been a-
what is part of my journey is I can look back and see where in my mind I thought this is where I'm going, and the door didn't open for me. And I thought, well, that's a path I'm supposed to go down, right, God? Like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Just like with Bay Country,
Right.
there wasn't any other doors opening. And when the door opened with Bay Country, then I can look back and be like, okay, God, I see the doors that you kept closed for those purposes and the reasons why you opened the doors that you did. And so I can very much look back and see where God was working in my life.
Oh, he had his
In
hands on.
the now, I may not know what's happening, and I
Right.
may be confused, and I may be angry, and I may just not be unsure.
Yeah.
But I always can look back and say, okay, I see why this happened or didn't happen. Yeah, and it's all faith based. It's all faith based.
That's a secret there. Little splash of faith, and you're going places. What do they
going
say?
places.
The faith
I
of a
mean-
mustard seed, and you can move mountains.
It's not easy, right? It's not easy to continue having, a relationship with God, and it's a daily struggle for me. I'm not somebody who's out here like, oh, I'm a perfect Christian, because I'm not.
Right.
I'm the first one to tell you that I fail God every single day. But every single day, I'm on my knees asking
Amen.
God, how do I do better?
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I living my life for myself, or am I living my life for God?
All glory to God.
And
All glory.
if you're not living your life for God, then I feel like you're gonna find struggles, and you're gonna hit that rock bottom of like, how do I go up from here?
Wow. Now, I have a question for you, right? Because I think we all go through this in some sort, right? We all have our own past trauma, our own past problems, and I'm a big mental health guy. You know what I mean? They say he's the relationship guy, I'm the mental health guy, but I think these kind of relate in the same, one and the same. That little girl, right? That little girl that you used to be, what are you telling her right now?
I'm telling her that she's loved beyond measure, that the world may tell her that she's not good enough, but she always is. That the amount of work that you put in to life will come back tenfold. That it's not about yourself, it's always about serving others. I told you maybe in a previous video that, our mission at Bay Country is the more hands you shake, the more lives you change. I believe in that. I believe in that I'm pouring into my team every day because I want to change their lives. It's not about changing my life. It's not about changing the company's life. It's about changing the lives of my employees, and how can I provide a future for them, and how can I help them build a legacy. So I think if you live your life, not only, through Christ, but for others, because that's what Christ did.
One and the same there. Living for others.
Is how can I serve? How can I serve my employees? How can I serve my friends? How can I serve my family? How can I serve my community? Having that mindset, I think then it gives you the confidence to do whatever you want to do.
And for the women, this is my final question. If you got another one, please feel free. Or if there's anything that you feel like you want to speak out. But for the women that are listening to this right now, what is one message you would like to share with them? Let's say that this interview was broadcast through across every country, around the globe, and you could speak to each girl, each woman out there. What's that one message that you would like to share with them?
You failed yesterday, but you got a new start today.
Listen, we gotta.
Why do we need the Celsius prior to the show, bro?
Whoa.
Come on with it, big dog.
You failed yesterday, but today you've got a new day.
New day.
And
New
you
day.
can't take yesterday into today. You have to stand up.
Yes.
And know that you've earned it. You deserve it. Let's go.
Let's get it. Man, I ain't gonna lie. You got me ready to go. I'm about to go hit a workout after this. I don't need no pre-workout. I'm ready to go.
Let's
Shout
go.
out to my,
Let's go.
We're already tapped in, big dog.
Trapped the whole week.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Again, in the industry of construction, women are really looked down upon. So, another message I have is to don't allow gender roles to keep you from being the leader that you are.
Come on.
Roar like a lion.
Baby. Let's go.
It's go time. We're here, and we're in the industry, and we're ready to rock and roll and work right side by side with men.
And thank God you are, because believe it or not, we need them all.
Need it.
Yeah,
We the ones who messed it all up. we need some help.
Please.
We need some help. I'll be the first to say.
I need help every day. I ain't gonna lie to you, Ms.
Yeah.
Sandra. Listen.
Me too.
I'm telling you, a woman's hug can take a man's life and completely transform it.
Yeah.
Their energy by themselves has the opportunity and the strength to turn any type of man into a completely different man. That's the power of a woman.
See,
when they walk in the room, bro, what's that? Hit me with it, brother.
You a question. And then I need you to respond off of this question.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I need a.
What do you believe, right, in a relationship that your partner should provide for you? I'm asking both of you.
Oh.
This is something that I'm trying to take in.
So between the marriage that I currently have with my wife, something that I always communicate is I need her presence. Like when I'm with her, like I need her to be here with me because I carry a lot of stress, carry a lot of worry, I carry a lot of fear of the future, right? I'm not saying I'm like a, doubtful guy, but like when as a man, I feel like I'm responsible for my future and my family and her future and the family we're going to create. I need her to be with me and just to tell me that she loves me and that she's here to support me. If I have her love and support, I don't care where we're at. I know we're going anywhere that we want to go. But I need her to just let me know that I'm loved and that I am supported. And I'm telling you, when she gives me a hug, things change. And that's what I need. Physical touch every single
Love
time.
language.
I go into my house, and it's the first thing I do. We set up a role. I'm not allowed to be on my phone when I enter my house because it's like we've been separated all day. It's time for you to be home with your family, right? And that's a part of the Honey, I'm Home series of what it means to be a man when you walk through the home. And like she requested that, and I just said, I request you to stand up and hug me and kiss me so that my stress is depleted and I can keep work at work or whatever it is. It could be anything, a conversation I had. And that really, I allow her love to reach me to the point where I won't let her go until I feel her love. Like, because I need that to make sure that I'm the best man I can be, because my success does not come from, the amount of money that I make here or anywhere I'm at. It's about my relationship with my wife and the family that I'm going to stay true to the very end, and hopefully honor God along the way. All glory to God to allow me to be in a beautiful and loving marriage.
Amen.
So that's what I'm looking for. Physical touch is that hug and that love and knowingness that she's here to support me.
All right. So I'm going to say communication. What I see inside of my own relationships and relationships with others is that to have a successful relationship, when you enter into something, let's say you're in your young 20s, you get married, life throws a lot of curveballs at you.
Come on.
You're going to change financially, you're going to change emotionally, you're going to change physically, and all of those changes create, barriers that you're going to have to overcome. And, maybe your significant other doesn't look the same way after a baby. Maybe your significant other has changed jobs and they're working more. To me, it's all about communication. If you don't take the time to sit down each week and address what's going on, being open to listening to what your partner says, that's really where your relationship's going to start to crumble.
Wow.
Is that you have to be on the same page financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And if you can sit down together once a week and communicate about where you are, because you're going to grow, you're going to evolve. The person that you married
a year and a half ago,
is not going to be the same person in 10 years.
Right.
And so by being able to communicate, you can then grow together. If you're not growing together, you're going to grow apart.
Ooh, she is throwing these. Y'all see this?
Where's the button?
Where the button?
Where'd that button be?
Damn it, Jackie.
Hit it, Jackie.
I'm going to be ordering us some buttons.
Listen, fire.
Oh, man.
So true.
I'm not going to lie
Thank
to you
you.
guys. That was an incredible podcast to start. But
Yeah.
She talked a big talk,
big talk.
and she showed up.
She showed up.
Walked the walk.
Walked it. And
Here on the
Walked
Tre'd
it.
Talk.
this is the one thing I will say, though, man. The one thing I've learned from relationships, I need to know where your feet are, right? Like, I need to know, are you 80 today? Because if you're 80, I need to be 20. Are you 100 today? Okay, then I can chill.
Yeah.
Are you at 40 today? Let me be 60.
I
Whatever you
gotcha.
need from me, let me make up the other half because I expect you to do the same for me.
Right.
You understand? So like, how can we both be 100? It's not really that possible. So wherever you're at, meet me where my feet are, and I'll meet you where yours are. But I want to say this, man. Thank you so much for coming on to Tre'd Talk for this reason. One, you gave a lot of valuable knowledge to women out there that do need it, right? I think right now we're in a position in the world where we have a misunderstanding of what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman, right? And everybody's interpretation is different, and that is A-okay. But you cannot stop living for love. You cannot stop giving to somebody that you care about, right? And I find it nowadays where I'm okay to say that I am the man that I am. I'm not going to change because people are trying to make it sound different, right? I am a straight heterosexual male, and I'm okay with it, right? And I have no problem with it. But also with that said, though, it's okay to love whoever you love, however you love, as long as you are loving the person that you care about most and you're giving your full effort. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Does not take much to care. All it takes is you just starting right where your feet are. So first things first, Miss Sandra, thank you so much for coming on again.
Yeah.
Tyler Joe Stratton, man, thank you again for being the dopest co-host that I could ask for.
To my man.
And then on top of that, thank you guys for watching. Now, one last thing, Miss Sandra, how can they follow you, find you, subscribe to you,
Where you
comment
be?
to you?
Ooh. Sandra Albert on Facebook, Sandra at Bay Country Contractors on Instagram, Sandra Albert on LinkedIn.
Come on.
Let's go.
Um,
We'll put it all in the show notes as well.
yeah, that's where it's at.
Someone.
Say no more. Say no more. Well, this has been Tre'd Talk. Back again with some of the incredible topics we love to talk about. Thank you guys for watching so much. We are up, and away. We are out of here. Appreciate y'all for watching.
Peace.